Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Wise. Today we are at the next topic, that is the endgame studies explained. We are at the 93rd position of our topic. We have got a position here with white to play and draw. The white pawns are well advanced, but the black king is very close to them, and we can see that the black pawn is far away from the white king's zone. White has just two candidate moves, one is h6 and other is king c7. This is a typical technique. The king tries to come closer to the enemy pawn and also it tries to go towards his own pawn. First move g7 is of no use because just king f7, h6, and we see that after b4, b3, b2 and b1 black wins very easily. The move king c7, which seems to transpose after b4, h6, king f6, h7, is actually met by instant king f6, when the h pawn will not be able to move and the b pawn will simply promote to queen. So the only way for white is to promote his h pawn and force the king to the g7 square first, and then white tries to use his king along the diagonal. But still things look very tricky. Let's look at the analysis now. After h6, king f6, h7, kg7, we can understand the first point that what white is trying to use. He is going to come to the d6 square and suddenly switch to the e7 square, where after the move h8 there will be simultaneous queening of pawns. But the more tricky line is when black tries to use his knight and get towards the white pawn. So after king c7 there are two main lines. One is b4, other is nc3. b4, kd6. Here also nc3 is possible, which will transpose back to the nc3 line. b3, ke7, b2, h8 queen, check, king takes h8, king f7. And because of the queening of pawn on the b1 square, it controls g6. So white is unable to mate black. Thus after b1 queen, g7 check, king h7, g8 equal to queen check, king h6, and the game will end in a draw after qg7, kh5, qe5 check. The extra knight is not of much use here and the game is drawn. Slightly more complex is the line nc3. There are some very interesting ideas in it. Now there is kd6. Black can choose between two ideas. One, he can try to use the knight towards the king side, or he can go with the move b4. Instant knight move to e4 just allows kd5, b4, kc5, and there are again two ideas. After knight d5, simply king takes d5, b3, ke6, b2, and we reach the same kind of position as before. h8 queen, king h8, kf7, and after b1, g7, g8 queens, and it's again a drawn position. So now we have the most important point. After kc5, b3, kb4, b2, king a3. After the move b1 bishop, there will be kb2 attacking both. b1 knight will not help because two knights are not capable of mating. And after the move b1 queen or b1 rook, both serve the same purpose here. All the squares are guarded. White goes with the move h8 queen check, king takes h8 forced, g7 check. After kg8 it's an instant stalemate, and after king h7, g8 queen check, king takes g8 forced, again it's a stalemate. Be it a queen on b1 or a rook on the b1 square, and the position is drawn. I hope you are finding these positions useful and instructive. Thanks for your time.